Hi Bestie, here we are back at it again with another budget bestie. I've done these budget besties so often now and I don't even know what number we're on. We're on like 40 something and I'm really enjoying them. But I keep on getting submissions from people on Universal Credit in tons and tons of debt. I like to do these to help people out. Now, as we remember, Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice, however, sometimes I can be creative with their budget and do things that they might not do, which might make them take a different look at their budget. But the real knowledge comes from the comment section down below, so if you would do it a different way, please sound off because your voice is so important. Now today we have a budget bestie and their main financial goal is to be a rich bitch. Not really, just a bit more financially stable and to be able to treat me and the kids without feeling guilty about it. Their issue is that they're still in debt and they feel ashamed about it. So it seems like they want to be able to just be able to treat their kids, not feel guilty about it and kind of get out of debt. So let's do a plan based off of that. So let's get cracking, bestie. We're here with my stunning A5 paycheck bill tracker. She is available in loads of different colors and she is a tear off sheet. So if you make a mistake, you can just scratch it off and start again. So first of all, we have Universal, can you see? Yes, you can. We have Universal Credit and that is every month 1630, and then we get child benefit, which is $39.90 a month. So I'm just going to CB and that's $159.60, so $159.60. and then they say that their boyfriend, what do they say? Their boyfriend gives me £50 a week towards snacks and stuff. So let's just put boyfriend as a income. That adds up to $1,839.60. So I'm going to put down their bills in the order that they have done them. So first of all, we've got council tax. So council tax, and that is £21. So significantly supported here. We've got TalkTalk, which I believe is internet. So let's put internet, and that is 20. Water is next, and they've got like a nice deal, a nice rate is $15.61 per month, and then they owe their mum. So their mum has bought them a cooker off like finance or something like that, so they have to give them £35 per month. I'm not going to add that into debt because they haven't added it in as a debt. I don't know how much they owe or anything like that, so let's just keep it as a bill for as long as we need to. Same situation is a laptop, so they got a laptop on finance and they pay £20 per month for that, and then they pay for gas and electric separately. So gas is 120 and electric is also 120. So that seems like quite a lot. First thing I do is look to see if you can get those bills combined with a different provider, because you could potentially be paying a significant, like a lot less, but also you're getting quite a lot of support from the government, and it seems weird to me that you're not getting support on gas and electric as well. So that might be worth a further inquiry as well. Then they have rent, which is here, which is 411. So then they have something listed as TV. So it's either TV license that they owe a bit of, or they're paying off a TV. So let's just put down what they said. So it's $38.80, and then that is what they say their bills come up to. So this all comes up to $801.41, which leaves them with $1,038.19. So it sounds like a lot of money so far, but we've got quite a lot to go through. So obviously the boyfriend helps with snacks, so I don't know what the snack budget is, but I'm hoping it's £50. And then they say they only spend £200 per month on food because there's 3 of them in the house. So it's the budget bestie and then their 2 children. So £200 a month is not a lot, but you know, if you can make it work, you can make it work. So $788.19 left over. So they say that they're currently paying for Butlins, so a holiday to Butlins, and it's £150 per month, and then that will be gone in July. And they would also like to pay for a carpet, which will cost £8K. They saved up £80 already, but they're currently they're not like currently saving for it, like actively. So at the moment it's £150, which leaves them with $638.19. When we move over to debt and saving, they have a fair bit of debt. So when we exclude mum, laptop as well, and whatever this TV thing is, we've got Littlewoods, which is like a catalogue. So you choose things out of the catalogue and then you buy it on hire purchase, so you owe it. The minimum on that is £120. Then we have Studio, which is a very similar thing. That's also £120. We have Vanquish, which is one of the worst credit cards you can get. The APR on that is 38.9%, so horrendous. The minimum on that is 70, and then they have an overdraft, which they are all the way at the bottom of. So overdraft, so the minimum is 50, and then they get £30 of charges, so it's basically £80. So what that comes up to is £390, leaves them with £248.19. And to be honest, for a buffer, that seems okay, but you know that this parent is trying to get a lot done with £248.19. Like, we've got like nothing else in here, so no wonder why this person's struggling. Let's go ahead, let's get this orange pen out and let's work out what I might do. So the income is the income and the bills are the bills. Obviously I'd like to know a lot more about this mum, this laptop and this TV, and I'd like to figure out a plan to pay that off quicker if that was possible. And also, you know, what I said at the start with this electric and rent, can you pay less? Because that does seem quite high, that does. But anyway, even if we're left with £1,038.19, we still need to do some stuff, particularly with envelopes. So the first thing I would do is I would put in a bit of spending for you, because it's difficult. I'd give yourself £20 a week. That is £80, and then something for the kids as well, so like a bit of pocket money, a bit of sweetie money, whatever works. £5 each per week, so that's 40 quid. That kind of makes things a bit more bearable and doesn't feel like you're on a budget because you're like taking care of yourself, right? This does make it more, makes it £370, and that leaves you with £668.19. Now, we are in debt, and our main financial issue is I'm still in debt and ashamed about it. But when we come to the sinking funds, we've got Butlins, and then we've got carpets for downstairs. I have about 80 and I want 6k to rely on in the future. So we can't necessarily have an amazing emergency fund, and we haven't really spoke about an emergency fund, so we're not really going to do that. So at the moment, I'd leave these as they are, leave carpet at 0, but I'd start to think about some new sinking funds. So first of all, I'd think about holidays. So a holiday after Butlins, and then stuff for school, like school uniform. Whether you're assisted or not, you're still going to need that stuff. Some money to do stuff in the school holidays. I can't spell school holidays. Things for birthdays, so you, your boyfriend and your kids, and then Christmas if you celebrate. So there's those. And I actually would put 0 towards them for now, because we're in a place where debt is it's just too much. I'd leave that at 150, so you've still got 668.19 at this point. I would work in an overpayment, so overpayment of £110. So added with the 390, that means that your debt minimums are 500. It's gonna leave you with £18.19. Yeah, as your buffer, which is pretty reasonable. But let's tear off the sheet and work on the back, because we need to figure out this debt payment plan. So I'm going to list it in order of like size, but not necessarily, because we've got 3 very high interest debts here. So first of all, we've got is Littlewoods. So Littlewoods, we owe £300 and our minimum is 120. Then we have Vanquish, and we owe 1,200 there, and our minimum is 70. And I bet you the interest on that is somewhere in the 80s. I bet you that. And then we have Studio, which is 1,500. And our minimum is 120. Now, those are the very high interest. Then we have overdraft, which is still high interest, but not as high. So overdraft is 1,200, and the minimum is 50 plus 30, which is 80, right? So we owe 4,200. So let's figure out what this plan might look like. So when we add our overpayment of £110 to the Littlewoods, that makes it £230, which means that we'll have that paid over in 2 months with change. And it's really important to pay them off quick so that they don't have enough chance to charge us interest, right? So we've got change left over there. So when we add that £230, the snowball, to that 70, that makes our new snowball £300. And when we throw that at Vanquist, we have that gone in 4 months. And that, you know, unfortunately is the quickest way to get rid of that, because that is a brutal credit card to have, but you know, we'll get it done. And then when we add that £300 to the 120, 300, sorry, that means that we've got a new snowball of 420. And when we chuck that at the studio debt, we have that done in 3 months, like a little over 3 months. So we got the change from there, and it makes sense. So this £80, when we add the 420, that comes up to the full snowball of 500, which means that that is paid off in 3 months. When you add those together, we are debt free in 12 months. So that's 1 year and the debt is gone, which I think is probably one of the most optimistic and hopeful and achievable debt repayment plans that I've done in a really, really long time. So let's go back to this budget. Let's get a new pen and we'll demark red as your life after debt. So once your debt is gone, you then have 500, not 5,000. You have £500 to play with each month. So we go back to our sinking funds, right? So Butlins won't really be a thing at that point. So we'll still have £668.19 to play with, because this is really reasonable. Like, it's really reasonable. I don't know what you need for travel though, so you might want to consider that. So what I would do is start going for this carpet, because you mentioned it and it's an important thing to you. I'd go for £300. So when you do £300 every month, that's going to take 26 months. So you have it in just over 2 years, which for 6k, not bad at all. I would then move that £150 that you were doing to Butlins and pay for holiday. So rather than paying off a holiday, why don't you save up for a holiday and have the money? Then there's no interest, you've done it by yourself. It will feel so much better, I absolutely promise you that. Then the rest of them I'd do 50 down the line. So 50 for school, 50 for school holidays, 50 for birthdays, and 50 for Christmas. And you know, 50 times 12, let's work that out, 600 quid. So having a pot that's pretty much got 600 quid in it all the time for like school supplies and uniform and like things to do in the summer term, their birthdays, Christmas, it's gonna feel so much better. So this comes up to £650, which leaves you with 1819, which you already have. So that is the approach I would take to this budget. Now, an emergency fund might seem like a really, really important thing, but as I've been pointed out many a time, a lot of people on universal credit aren't allowed to save up a certain amount of money. So having an emergency fund, yes, it's really important. It would be really, really important to me. But when you're assisted, that money isn't necessarily going to dry up unless your circumstances change. So if in the future your circumstances might change, I might consider getting a emergency fund up to the point where you're allowed to have one. But as we can see from this budget, Bestie, an emergency fund wasn't necessarily important. It was making sure that they could afford things for the kids, give them little treats, and that's why we included pocket money into it, and have holidays and things like that while still getting out of debt, and then having a lot of money available so that you can do the fun things and enjoy time with your kids. So that's the approach that I would take. I would love to see what you would do, Bestie, and let me know down in the comments down below. Hi guys, gals and all body parts, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. What would you do in this scenario today? I mean, your voice is so important, because the amount of times where I've done a budget and someone's come along and said, have you thought about this? And I'm like, no, I absolutely have not. If you would like to see what I might do if I was in your situation, the link is down below to submit a budget, Bestie. Please give me as much detail as possible, because then I can do what I might do with it. I have to skip over the things where people don't give me very much detail, unfortunately. The more juicy they are, the better, and the more likely they are to become a video, Bestie. So have a look at the link down below. Have you considered becoming a channel member or a patron? Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks, and significant discounts off my Etsy store. Channel members get early access to every single video. In fact, they've seen this video long before you have, Bestie. If you like the sound of those perks and you like the sound of me, have a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, Bestie. That's all we have for this week, so until the next video, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And Bestie, I'm going to leave you with a Budget Bestie playlist. This has got every Budget Bestie that we've ever done. Go on a binge, Bestie. I absolutely support you.